alert.
All right, the latest Marquette Law School poll of Wisconsin voters was released yesterday.
Wisconsin will be under the microscope for the next 14 months as the candidates battle for what could be a key state in the presidential election. So where do voters stand today? Charles Franklin is the director of the Marquette Law School poll. Good to see you back, Charles.
Good to be here.
So there's a long way to go. I thought I saw you describe this as we're in the second inning.
I think we're in the middle of the second, and it's a long way to the bottom of the ninth. And I'd really encourage people to think about our poll and everyone else's that way.
Yeah.
That games go up and down, and they tell you something about which teams are doing well and poorly. But the middle innings are by no means a sure thing for how the final outcome falls.
But here in the middle of the second, you polled the Democrats against President Trump in a hypothetical election.
That's right. And this is the first time we've done that comparison this cycle. Joe Biden does quite well, 51 to 42, a 9-point lead over President Trump. That's substantial. The margin of error is just under 4 points, so this is outside that margin of error. Then Bernie Sanders leads, but by a smaller margin, 48-44. Then the other two candidates we asked about, Elizabeth Warren ties at 45, and Kamala Harris ties at 44. We asked about those four candidates because they are top four in national polling averages now. As those averages move around and different candidates rise and fall, we'll ask about others. But for this time, we asked about those four.
But and a certain number of people don't even know who they're going to vote for.
That's right. It ranged from about 7 to a little over 10 who said they don't know. The other thing that I think you could take away from it is President Trump's support ranged very slightly from 42 to 45, just a 3-point range, whereas the Democrats ranged over 7 points from 44 to 51. You might not think that's a lot, but it does show that who the Democratic candidate is mattered for the Democrats' standing, but it didn't shift the Trump support a lot. And that's probably typical of an incumbent president who has a record, is well known, and people are certainly divided over.
So what does this show you, do you think, as you look ahead toward the Democratic primary? That Joe Biden is still in the lead at this point?
Biden is doing well. When we did ask of people who could vote in, are likely to vote in the Democratic primary, Democrats and independents who lean Democratic and independents with no party lean. We left out Republicans and Republican leaners. Among that group, Biden had 28% support in the primary, Sanders 20, Elizabeth Warren 17. That's pretty much in line with national polling. But in fourth place was Pete Buttigieg at 6 and Kamala Harris at just 3. Harris has typically been polling in fourth place nationally, so there's a little bit of a difference there here in our data versus the national data after you get past the top 3. Otherwise, that's pretty much in line with national data.
And how about the president's approval rating?
That's just the tiniest tick down from April, 45% approve, 52% disapprove. It was 46-51. That says 53. That may be right. I may have misspoken. But in any case, 45 was the approval, down from 46 last time in April. So that's easily inside margin of error kind of change.
And that's sort of national trend as well.
A little bit. We have seen a drop. You know, his approval rating doesn't change much in our data or national data. Recently, he may have come down from about 44 nationally to about 42 nationally or so. One thing we did ask was approval of his handling of the economy, and that was a little bit better, but it was still 49 to 50 approve, disapprove. So the strength of the economy is something that has been helping him, but here that's a little bit tighter. Nationally, he's been doing 53 or 54 approval on the economy.
And next week, we'll have another Democratic presidential debate. 10 candidates all together on one stage for the first time. So do you think there could potentially be a breakout moment?
I think one of the most important things is Democratic voters getting to know the candidates still. Biden and Sanders are very well known in our data, but 34% didn't know enough about Elizabeth Warren to say if they were favorable or unfavorable, and 51% didn't know their opinion of Kamala Harris. and Pete Buttigieg 56%. So there is a big range of how well people know these candidates. This will be the first debate that Warren is on the same stage with Biden, and of course the first night that they're all on the same stage together. So while there's always a chance of a great line that gets you a big boost, there's also the chance for Democratic primary voters to tune in and feel like they're getting to know some of these candidates that they really clearly are not yet familiar with.
It's a week from tonight, actually.
Yep, and that's where we stand, the middle of the second inning.
That's right. We'll come back in the third.
All right. Charles.
We'll see you then. Thanks, Charles.
Thanks for coming out. We'll have a final check of your forecast coming up.